and welcome to KMTV. I'm Josie Hannett, your top stories tonight. Dover protester jailed, Kent victim in mass stabbing remains in hospital, and it's a win for the KM charity team. But first this evening, a woman was sexually assaulted in broad daylight by a man in Dover. The attacker grabbed a woman in Redoubt Road and put his hand over her mouth before sexually assaulting her. It happened last Wednesday. Police are now searching for a dog walker who saw what was happening and shouted at the suspect. He then ran off. The suspect's been described as a white male, around 5'5", with mousy, short, untidy hair and was clean shaven. A right-wing supporter who smashed up a coach with a hammer has been jailed today. Callum Lamb was on a coach of activists heading to the January demonstrations in Dover. He smashed a rival's coach windows, causing £16,000 worth of damage. He admitted violent disorder and was jailed for 3 years. It was also revealed he had previous convictions for racially aggravated assaults, possessing parts of a firearm, and was jailed in 2010 for 5 years. A Kent man caught up in a mass stabbing in London last week remains in hospital with serious injuries. Bernard Hepplewhite from Wainscott was knifed in the stomach in Russell Square in Camden. I spoke to one of his colleagues earlier today. Bernard Hepplewhite from Rochester was one of 6 people stabbed when a man went on a rampage in Russell Square in London. The 67-year-old remains in a serious but stable condition in hospital after being knifed in the stomach last week. A 19-year-old is accused of murdering US tourist Darlene Horton during the attack. He's also been charged with the attempted murder of 5 others, one of those being Bernard, who was just yards away from Mrs. Horton when she was fatally stabbed in the back. Well, in his spare time, Bernie volunteers here at the historic dockyard in Chatham, in fact carrying out maintenance on the boat behind me. Now, despite his injuries and being in hospital, he casually emailed staff here to tell them he wouldn't be able to make it into work this week. It wasn't until they did some digging that they realised he was involved in this horrific attack. A retired tax expert, he's worked at the dockyard for several years as part of the attraction's conservation team. He gives up his spare time to help paint and repair the historic ships.
Bernie was very interested in local history, naval heritage, that sort of thing, and this really gave him the opportunity to do something completely different to the day job, get his hands dirty and really get hands-on with local heritage.
The alleged attacker has been remanded in custody until his trial at the Old Bailey in February next year. Josie Hannett for KMTV in Chatham. This week marks 25 years since the Dangerous Dogs Act came into play, but the RSPCA has called for an inquiry into how we label certain dog breeds as dangerous. The law makes it illegal to own dogs, including pit bulls, meaning if someone's found to own one, it will be seized and put down. The RSPCA says the law doesn't safeguard the public and causes animals and their owners unnecessary suffering. We've asked the people of Chatham whether they think dogs classified as dangerous should be automatically put down.
Do you think because a dog looks like a dangerous dog, it should be put down?
No, no, I don't think that at all. I think that dogs are like loads of different breeds, and like even like pugs look really weird because their faces are like really fat, and that's not natural, but they don't get put down.
I have a boxer dog, and a lot of people think that he looks like a dangerous dog, but he's really not. He's the biggest softie ever, and I just think you can't, just because something looks dangerous doesn't mean that it is.
As a strict vegan, I believe that animals are mistreated all the time, and we need to stop it now because dogs are dogs and they've got no brains and they just get mistreated all the time. It's just not right.
And finally, the KM charity team has won an award for their Walk to School campaign. Simon Dolby has the latest.
The KM charity team has been named a Green World Ambassador in recognition of its successful Walk to School campaign in the South East. At a ceremony held at the Crystal in London, trustees of the charity were presented with a prestigious award. This year, more than 40,000 children and families used the charity's award-winning walk-to-school schemes of SuperWow, Green Footsteps and walking buses, removing 270,000 school-run car journeys from local roads.
It's been a great privilege today to be here at the Crystal in London at the Green World Ambassador Awards, and the KM charity team has won an award in recognition of the work it's done on the walk to school schemes, otherwise known as the walking bus scheme. I think the work has been done over a number of years, and this work has certainly provided a good basis for the future development of the charity.
Well, that's it from us this evening. We'll be back again tomorrow with the latest stories from across Kent. In the meantime, don't forget you can keep up to date by listening to KMFM or logging on to kentonline.co.uk. Have a great evening and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.